The following podcast is brought to you by the Ebb Tide Treatment Center. Many people wrestle with addiction. You don't have to. Reach out to the Ebb Tide Treatment Center, where they wish to empower each individual encountered with the support, hope, and tools required for long-term sobriety, priding themselves on providing the best possible treatment experience for you and your loved ones based on unique needs. They're committed to breaking the stigma that plagues those suffering with addiction and their families by educating and bringing awareness to the community. The Ebb Tide Treatment Center provides individual and group therapy, multiple recovery pathways for support, evidence-based clinical support, integrated aftercare social reintegration, personalized treatment planning, program addressing whole life health, and Vivitrol program, all available. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, reach out to them at ebbtidetc.com or call 844-430-4357. Welcome to another episode of AIW's The Card is Going to Change. This week's episode is kind of a return from 1 week's back. We had some great feedback on it, a lot of positivity surrounding it, and so we're going to essentially pick up where we left off with that episode. But before we do, of course, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors that help us bring this show to you for free each and every week. Thanks to Angelo's Pizza, who's feeding us here today as we record, and they feed all of you at the live events at Mount Carmel with their award-winning pizza. If you want to try anything else on their menu, head to Angelo's on Madison Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio. Thanks, of course, to Smart Mark Video, who handles all of our recording at the live events so that you can watch it, either watch it back or watch it for the first time. Head to smartmarkvideo.com for MP4s and DVD purchases. And also, as always, thanks to Jack Prince, who handles all of our printing and graphic design needs, whether it is t-shirts or other apparel or banners, literally anything. They can do all the same for you. Find anything that you would like printed on at jackprince.com.
That's jkprince.com.
That's right. And that voice you heard is Alex Worldwide Keller. Yes, he is back again because he's still on the alcohol sabbatical, so we're okay with it. Sauce sabbatical. I'm sorry.
Sauce sabbatical.
As he refers to it, and we figured he wasn't too bad last time. This episode, as we are also joined by AIW owner John Thorne, and my name's Steve Guy, the moderator of sorts here. We also have Brian Carson, Frankie Flynn, Dominic Guarini, Weird Body Evan Adams, and Joshua Bishop will be in here as well. As I alluded to, the feedback was great from the last AIW Academy roundtable,
Through the roof.
and we decided to bring it back. So last episode, we kind of talked about everybody's beginnings for the most part. We still have a couple other locations to get to from where the school has been, but we also talked about guys who didn't really make it, and we kind of left off on some of those. And I think that's probably where we'll pick it up.
Well, one person that didn't make it was, I guess, former AIW superfan, because I haven't seen him in any shows in a long time, was Ricky Duncan. I remember he talked about training
a year. I remember fucking when
always
I lived
talked about it.
Tricky Ricky. A few blocks from Turner's. He hit me up on Facebook, was like, hey, what should I do? Well, gave him the Iggy. I was like, hey, man, we do this card thing. Fucking, this was a year before he joins the school. Not ready. Not ready at all.
This dude hits me up like 2 weeks after or like before he's going to join. And he's just like, hey, I'm going to start training with you guys. Like, what do you guys do? And I was just like, well, what do you mean? And he was just like, well, like, what does the class entail? And I said, you got to show up. I can't just like explain it to you because you haven't showed up yet. And he's like, well, I've been doing cardio for about 6 weeks now. I said, that's
before you even finish the statement. This fucking guy messaged me on Facebook Messenger for that entire year. I'm gonna train. A million questions. He doesn't sign up for the school. Charge it till the Underhills. Chris Hero is on the show, and he's doing a clinic.
Oh, yeah. No, he also did. Who did he do it with? EC3?
Yeah,
he did the EC3 clinic. Like
I didn't
way
see.
back when.
I wasn't there for the EC3 and Spud clinic, But I walk into Mount Carmel, and this is our first show at Mount Carmel, I believe.
Yeah.
And this fucking guy that's been messaging me saying that he's going to start training is in the ring with Chris Hero doing his fucking must be previously trained training seminar.
Well,
Yep.
This is how I knew that Duncan, just by looking at him, but number two, how I knew he wasn't going to make it. When I told him, like I gave him like a general outline, like we warm up with calisthenics, this, and that. He's
Yep.
like, what are calisthenics? And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's the writing on the wall for Ricky Duncan. Anyway, when he was doing the first day drill, he got, I want to say,
6, maybe.
maybe 6 or 7 times hitting the ropes.
I don't even think that much.
I'm being generous by
Hey, man,
saying
yeah,
6 or 7.
yeah, exaggeration.
And this dude does his best Undertaker impression. He was hitting the ropes, and his eyes were rolling into the back of his
my
head.
God. I forgot all about that.
He was rolling into the back of his head like he was the friggin' Undertaker.
He was zombie walking it.
Yeah, dude, he was like a fucking Walking Dead, fucking Night of the Living Dead. Like,
Yeah.
like he was walking, and both of his eyes were in the back of his head. He wasn't even trying to run. He was just like taking steps towards the ropes with his fucking no eyes, like just the
And I
whites of
remember
his eyes.
we all got so fucking hot. We were just like,
yeah.
either like do the fucking drill or get the hell out and stop wasting our time,
Yeah,
dude.
dude. I remember fucking
This
Greg
is
was
and
there.
he's the reason why
Greg
said,
was there, yeah.
He's the reason why I said we have to start doing these first day drills as the last thing, because this fucking guy took an hour to
Yep.
fucking walk around and do 6 rolls. And then before you even continue that, the other thing I remember is we had a ring rental, and he went on the ring rental, and we went to Waffle House, and this fucking guy was drinking he ordered an orange juice and a Pepsi, and he had a straw in each, and he was drinking them at the same time together, mixing them together like some kind of fucking weird potion in his mouth.
That was the scariest drive of my life because I was in a car with them, and we almost went off the road multiple times.
Well, because all the other cars were full, and Duncan was like, Carson, I got room in my car, and I was like, who's going with Biggins? And so I walked over to Biggins' car, and it was only Kaplan in the seat. I'm like, Biggins, I'm going with you. He's like, I don't blame you. I wouldn't drive with him either.
You made me do it.
Sorry, Frankie, but I told you, you could have rode in the U-Haul. It would have been safer than driving with Ricky Duncan.
That's true.
So not everybody that really likes AIW, it turns out to be a success, like Worldwide Keller. Is that what you're saying?
Well, not even that, but I mean, it's just, look, if you want to be you're a fan and you want to train, that's fine. But I mean, he was expecting, like, day one to walk in and, okay, when am I wrestling Johnny? When am I wrestling Chris
Ooh, that was
Hero?
another thing
When am I
about him.
wrestling, it was just, when am I wrestling Adam Cole? It was like, no, dude, you're down at the bottom.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to friggin' roll first before you can even get in, have a match.
And he didn't even have a tattoo describing his gimmick.
And if I can just fucking interject, I've seen so many people like come into like training and physically fucking it's hard. Not everyone's a fucking athlete. It's
Unlike you.
No, unlike me. Fucking elite athlete. But not everyone's like that. You gotta fucking work towards that shit. And that's cool. But you gotta fucking do it. But also the lack of knowledge that people have coming into a business where you could break your goddamn neck and die right then and there.
He didn't know what calisthenics were.
Like, you don't know what calisthenics are. You've never read a single goddamn fucking wrestling book. Like, fucking nothing. These motherfuckers come in and, like, mind you, that doesn't put you in the best stead. But, like, just fucking be a fan and know what the fuck the indies are,
Okay, you're at this point, if you want people to know what the indies are and to just join wrestling school because they watch the indies, you're way out of touch, because I would say a solid 85 to 95% of the people we get that come into the AIW Academy, first and foremost, have probably just watched WrestleMania this year, think there's a lot of money in it, and want to know when they're going to debut on SmackDown.
We did have one of those. We've had a few of those. But I'm just saying, do some goddamn fucking research.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Josh.
One day, somebody was surprised that I knew who Finn Balor was before he was on NXT.
And
I mean, in fairness, you can't expect everybody to know like every single old thing from.
That was a current person that made it through the school, by the way. Current active roster
bless
member.
their heart. They're smarter now than they were then.
I get you can't.
I guess.
It's unfair to expect everybody to know everything about the indies and going back.
Or like
but
indies,
still,
or even
yes.
fucking just wrestling. Like, I read goddamn Bret
Yeah.
Hart's book like fucking 20 times before I fucking joined that school. Fucking Mick Foley's goddamn book. This book, that book, that.
Yeah,
that,
something.
that. There's fucking like research you could do out there. You could like fucking watch fucking. Used to be shoots like cost a shitload of fucking money. Now you can find half of them on fucking YouTube for free. You have a million podcasts that like detail so many fucking things that happen. I mean, this one like fucking. We're not getting the ratings of a fucking Stone Cold or a goddamn Colt Cabana, but fucking. You know what? There's so many fucking resources for information, and I would love for people just to like. Do a little bit more fucking research.
Typically, before you do anything, you research.
Yeah, that's like me saying I'm going to be a mechanic because I know how to drive a car.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
I mean, like you got to have at least some background knowledge about how a car works, you know, and like what the inner workings of it. Like he didn't want to do that when he came to training. He just wanted to get in the ring. He even said, "When am I wrestling Johnny?"
Yeah, another thing about him was I remember, you know, he would come sit front row every show.
He wore that fucking Godzilla costume at that one show.
You know what? That was Reese. He was the Burger King.
Burger King.
Yep, he was the Burger King. But another thing was he had to skip sitting front row for one of the shows because he was wrestling in a battle royal.
That's right. Yeah,
hometown.
back in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, he was actively taking bookings. I forgot about that.
Wow. Well, we hope they still listen to the show after this. But
Well, with a great segue there, we talk about research. So we talk about probably the greatest project that never was in AIW history.
Oh.
I think everybody in this room agrees.
Breaks my heart.
AI Cena, we called him Prototype.
Prototype, baby.
But his name would be Ethan. I'm sure a lot of you fans remember him because he was the rather jacked gentleman that would work the Stars gimmick tables when we had them. And man, do I miss Ethan.
that and when you first were really debuting, he was kind of like your corner man. He'd come to
He
the
was a
ring with
one-time
you.
corner man. For
Oh,
me,
that's right,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And I actually get people that ask me where my corner man is, and I wish I knew.
Ethan was the only student that came in that I said, "Oh, I like this guy day one," because I think he looked
you
like
saw-
a wrestler.
Yeah, because you saw dollar signs in your eyes right away. You're like, holy cow, a guy that's in shape. Everyone else that's come in here looking a little chubby.
Dude, he did that first day drill like with ease. He didn't like break a sweat. It was scary how fast he got through it too.
Yeah, I was trying to get one of those fucking give me fucking 20% of your lifetime earnings contract.
Trying to get that Rick Bassman contract.
Yeah, dude. Larry Sharp, dude.
But yeah, no, Ethan was a good dude and like super athletic as well.
Great on fucking ring crew.
Great on ring crew.
All the respect.
Actually, went to WrestleMania 32 with me in Dallas. Like, just met me in Dallas and was like, hey, let's just go to WrestleMania. I was like, cool, man.
Ethan, please come back.
Yes, Ethan. I don't want to throw the last name out there. Please come back, Ethan. We miss you. And
You got married and you found a dog. I saw it on Snapchat. It's adorable. And I hope your marriage goes well, Ethan.
do we have?
But if shit goes sideways and your life's in the shitter and you think all hope is lost, just know that pro wrestling's waiting right here for you.
Maybe
All right?
maybe his wife will want him to wrestle. Who knows?
That would be cool too. But you know, if it's that like darker timeline, I'll take that Ethan too, because he's ready to do some shit.
I feel like you prefer the darker timeline. No,
Worldwide. Anybody else? Anybody else within the student boneyard / graveyard that we need to dig up here?
yeah.
Before we finally get into my
what about
backstory.
Second Kurt?
Second Kurt.
Second Kurt.
Your buddy Kurt Carson?
Oh, Kurt Pitts.
My buddy, what?
Yeah.
Oh, that motherfucker. Oh,
favorite.
The guy that said he was Kaplan's cousin.
yeah.
right?
First of all, bullshit. No, he's not. Okay, this motherfucker at one of the infamous J Fest, as Steve Guy calls it. Okay,
Call it Jizz Fest.
Jizz Fest. Okay, at one of the at Jizz
Yeah,
Fest
he's really-
2 summers ago, this kid comes up to me. I'm not in the greatest state of mind. I've been to Jizz Fest for a couple hours now. Okay, comes up to me and was like, "Brian Carson, what's going on?" I'm like, this guy, who is it? This guy must know me from AIW. I'm like, "Hey man, what's going on?" He's like, "Hey man, I just want to let you know I have connections in the business. I'm going to help you out." And me being drunk, I was just like, "Oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate it." He's like, "Where's Kaplan? I gotta tell Kaplan about this too." I'm like, "Oh, he's over there. Go talk to him." And Kaplan just looks at him and goes, "You're not connected. What are you talking? I know you're not. Like, you're Kurt Pitcher. We went to high school together. I know who you are." And Kaplan wasn't in the greatest state of mind either, but Kaplan graduated with the kid. And now he said, I think Dom, you told me.
No. Can I tell my favorite
Go on.
pitcher Kaplan story? So Kaplan, he comes to training Let's just put it this way: Kurt Pitcher fails the first stage drill about as miserably.
Oh,
as
shocker!
This gentleman puked so violently outside of the Detroit Avenue Training Center. It was bad. But I remember Kaplan pulling me aside and telling me this story. I know he told Thorne this story as well about Kaplan must have like thrown like a stool or something through like a window at a bar in the Mayfield area, and he got away. Like he got out and he was scot free. And then young Mr. Pitcher narked on him. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Thorne knows where I'm going with this. So he narks on him, and Kaplan finds out.
Kaplan was fucking furious that this guy was at the school.
Oh yeah.
So then I guess an undisclosed amount of time later, Kurt's grandma dies. And for whatever reason, I guess because him and Kaplan are tight, he asks Kaplan to be a pallbearer at his grandma's funeral. Kaplan accepts. But then no shows the funeral.
Right.
Like a true worker.
I forgot all about that story.
And then there's, I think Frank Kaplan has a story too.
Kaplan stealing the fucking bike, and then that guy fucking turning him into the cops.
Oh, because it was his sister's bike. That's why. Yeah. Okay. He stole Kurt's sister's bike.
Yeah, so Kaplan does break a window, and to get away, he breaks into a house.
It was Kurt's. That's right.
And steals a girl's bicycle to get away from the authorities that are looking for the guy that smashed out the fucking store window. And this guy fucking turned him into the police.
Yep.
Safety first, brother.
This guy also he sent me a message on PlayStation Network.
Ooh,
Yeah,
what a medium.
PlayStation Network messaged me about how I should go to the Al Snow School with him in England. And when I told him that he should learn the basics, he essentially told me he's got a lot to offer this business.
Oh, I bet he does.
And
I
I've
bet
never
he
heard from him
does.
since. So
Wild. When we had the Weird World Open Challenge at the first Back to the Future Cup, this motherfucker messages me, and he accepts the challenge. He don't got no tag partner. He got nothing. He just accepts the challenge.
He a one-man tag team?
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's two different transitions we can make from this, because we could talk about the other Kurt, who successfully has, I guess.
Debatable.
I got a hell of a match for Kurt.
He's a good brother, but...
Or we can go into, as Dom's talking about people vomiting at training and day one drills, there's a current AIW member who had a rough go.
Let's talk about the brothers in the room.
Hold on. Somebody needs to tell a story about how there was a consequence for the first day drill.
Exactly. As in calzones.
Well, I mean, there were consequences at one point for the first stage drill. I had been at the school for, I would say, about a month, and a young gentleman with slightly mocha-colored skin walks in the door.
He's Italian. They're all inherently racist. Go on.
Okay.
What's in your blood, weird body?
What's mocha skin?
What's racist about mocha?
Light skin. Hey, there, you say light skin?
Light skin sounds way worse than mocha.
Right.
His race. You can't give people a...
You say he was a gentleman of color? That's weird.
He could have had.
it could be you, Frankie Flynn.
He could have had a tan.
Hell of
Could
a
have been a
tan.
current member of the AIW.
Could have been Kaplan. Kaplan's really tan now.
Yeah, dude.
There's multiple people it could have been.
Mocha.
Anyway.
Mocha.
My favorite.
It's a coffee
He's a little
flavor.
lighter than mocha. I don't know. But anyway, we're splitting hairs here.
Let the fans use their imagination, brother.
Well,
My favorite fucking drink at Starbucks.
he
dude.
walks
Mocha.
in, a light-skinned individual.
I don't think
Of color.
I don't think that piece is weird body.
Yeah, you don't have to say light.
That's all I'm asking.
Okay.
A young
dude.
African American man.
A fucking dude walks in the academy, weird body. I'm sorry. We gotta get PC, I guess, today.
You know what? Don't even single out their gender.
An individual walks into the AIW Wrestling Academy, weird body.
They're in pretty good shape, it looks like.
An individual of royalty.
Oh, hey, Steve, goddamn guy.
Come on.
Get the fuck off my balcony right now.
An individual walks into the AIW Wrestling Academy. He has a flat top haircut.
Shooting with Steve Guy.
He then starts running the ropes, doing the first stage row. He gets very close to completing it. I believe he's on the 7th or 8th rope of our last leg of the first stage row. He then collapses to knees. And John Thorne, what happens next?
He pissed me off very much.
He vommed a whole bunch. A little bit in the ring. He got a lot of it outside of the ring. Most of it outside of the ring.
like disgusting amounts. And then at one point, like it was like he was going back into the ring while he was vomiting, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing, man? Get the fuck away from the ring!" And he's just kneeling down outside of the ring, just vomiting everywhere, like
violently,
like horror movie fucking.
It was like The Exorcist, dude.
Like liquids coming out of this fucking guy's body. Or sorry, I forget. We're not supposed to say what his gender is.
Well, worldwide then.
Then I saw Biggins and Thor getting pretty hot, so I ran in my gym bag and grabbed my wallet and ran to the corner store that was right by the school and got some nice purple cleaner. And I think I had some leftover towel from the beach or some shit in my car. And I took care of that shit.
Whoa, shut up. No, I cleaned it up with my bare
I got
hands.
the fucking cleaner. That's
You
what
had
I
the
remember.
cleaner.
And I provided the motherfucking towel because I fucking had
Thanks.
provided a bunch of towels to the goddamn school for mopping the shit up. All right, fine. You fucking put your goddamn foot on it.
No, I use my hands because foot would not have cleaned up the inhumane amount of vomit that this individual produced.
I think he threw up his body weight, dude. It was a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
And then flop it outside.
So this podcast is going to go 17 hours if we don't cut the story down.
Wow, the over under on Dom yelling at Worldwide, I think exceeded expectations there.
Someone did
As
dig,
well,
yeah.
Weird Body, I'm going to throw this out there. This story was told on our previous podcast, so everybody knows who it's going to be. And if you want to talk about queuing up who it is, we talked about no consequences. So this gentleman was Gary the King Baller.
It's exactly why I didn't give a shit. It said royalty.
Ballin'.
Okay, so then, on top of
Hot
this,
Dom.
at this point, Thorne and Biggins, without a doubt, think that this young man is never coming back.
Oh, I fucking didn't want him to come back. I was disgusted.
Well, the puke gets clean, and the next time we see young Baller,
Oh, this is great. Okay, so fucking, we think he's never coming back. Don't bother to get his fucking information or his phone number or anything. Fuck this guy. He fucking threw up everywhere. Fucking furious, like so mad. The next session at the school is a Bob Holly seminar, and sure enough,
In comes the baller.
here comes Gary. I didn't even have the heart to charge him the fucking seminar fee because the last time he was there, he puked everywhere. And now he's walking into fucking Bob Holly's there fucking doing push-ups right where he fucking puked, getting fucking pumped up, ready to fucking... Everyone's scared to death of this fucking guy. And I just didn't have the heart to even fucking tell him, hey, man, it's going to be a little extra today. And he just went through it. He's like, how long you been working, kid? This is my first year.
So, I mean, I guess that takes us from Gary to then, I think people want to know the Kurt Hurts story from you guys.
I mean,
He's the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
He's working that
He's
ladder.
going to work that ladder right to the top.
Alex Starr.
Alex Starr.
That was his original name. He was working the ladder to the top. When I came in, Kurt was actually the third person I saw at the Academy after Jacob and Matt. So I was thinking, well, it can't get much worse. Likely this. Kurt, though, is a great human being.
I thought Matt was really gonna make it. Matt was a good brother.
Well, he was also 6'3", so
He was
that
still
helped him out.
No, that
Did
didn't
a hell of a
matter.
working punch, too,
He
if
was-
I might say.
He was a good brother. I liked Matt.
He was.
Say good sister, Frankie?
No. His gimmick.
Well, that's a story for another podcast,
yeah.
Frankie.
That's a different day.
Is it?
That's a different day. I mean, do you guys want to go through it, Frankie? Do you want to explain?
Man.
No, you're right.
That's true,
You're right.
yeah.
This might be on the Patreon special.
Vios con Dios, Matt Day.
Yes. So Kurt, he let's put it this way, he's not the most athletic individual.
He lost some weight, though.
He's lost a lot of weight. Kurt's looking good these days.
Yeah.
He owns a house. He's married. But Kurt was that guy that I think everybody within the Academy thought was probably never going to debut.
And thought he had a real fucking hot sister.
Yeah.
Kurt knows.
Yeah.
So,
I think we've made it known to Kurt that that's how we all feel.
wow.
I mean, other than
Apples,
that,
trees, malfunctions, like chromosome junctions, you know.
I do just remember stuff with Kurt where Kurt was routinely out of shape, and then sadly my class got to suffer the brunt of it because that would upset Johnny and Candace that he was in poor shape. And then I remember trying to take moves with Kurt. Sunset flips off the second rope were a horrifying day for me at the training center. I said, if this is how it ends, at least it was fun. And then there was a day where we did hurricanranas, and God bless Kurt. God bless him. He got up as high as he could and never hooked his legs around my neck and fell right to the mat. Pretty sure he concussed himself that day.
Wouldn't have known it 'cause he said it was fine, remember? He's just like,
fine, dude.
oh, I'm fine. Well, we can do it again.
I'm fine. Let's do it again.
Seeing stars right now, but I'm all right.
Down. Actually, I remember an exact Kurt story. We were doing shoot grappling for some reason. I think Gargano just wanted to see if I was legit or something. So I had
So he put you in there with Kurt.
Yeah, right? He put me in there with everybody. But Kurt was in there.
Johnny thought real highly of Kurt's fucking shoot skills.
Yeah. I remember, so he puts me in there, and Kurt's rolling with me, and I have Kurt in a fully locked triangle choke. And I just remember hearing Thorne and Biggins yell, "Don't tap, Kurt! Don't tap!"
Yeah, fuck yeah. Don't
And
fucking tap.
Kurt,
No surrender.
I start to hear Kurt snoring, and I'm like, "Tap, Kurt, tap." He finally taps. He gets up and falls down.
Fucking shouldn't have tapped, Kurt.
Should have just gone night night.
We kind of left off on it the last time we did this, but let's get into a little bit more about the fucking Dark Horse.
Oh, the Dark
God.
Horse. Oh, man.
I feel like Weird Body's got a lot to
He came
contribute
back
on that.
plump.
Dude, yeah.
Let's see. I like the kid. That's for sure. He was always nice to me. He was a nice guy. Lost a lot of weight before he became a wrestler. Trained to be a wrestler.
Getting some of it back.
Yeah. He was just a goober, I would say. That's a good way to define him.
What about when we did the fucking? Were you there when we did the training exercise where it was like? Oh yeah. We were like, hey, here's your character, and we said you're
No.
we said you're a party guy, and he's like,
Oh, this is a great one.
and he's like, I can't do it. We're like, just say you're a fucking party guy. He's like, I can't.
And then he froze, and then out of nowhere,
A man from that worked at the Cinemark movie theater walked in, and I don't know if he was trying to rob us or fight us or what was going on.
He started cutting a promo. My God, we should have signed him up.
That guy had a hell of a promo. Party Boy
did.
Bryce, not so much.
I remember an exact quote from it. My name is not masturbation, so you can't jerk me off.
Yeah.
Exact quote. Yeah,
It's word
this
for
happened. This is what we caught at that old training center.
This guy just showed up and just started cutting a promo on all of us.
Yep.
We didn't know who he was talking to. Like, Johnny just looks at him and goes, does anyone know him? And we're all like, no, we don't.
Kaplan's trying to get him to go. It's like, all right, pal, it's time for you to leave.
That's the best part. Kaplan just goes, all right, Pally, time to leave. Go on, hit the bricks.
Yeah, and that's exactly in Ryan Kaplan voice. But yeah, Bryce our Dark Horse was just very uncomfortable
The
in
Dark
front
Knight.
of a situation where you talked about promos. Good kid. Couldn't drive to save his life whatsoever.
No, we could not.
A lot of things that we could have told Biggins that would have driven him off a wall about Bryce that we kept in because we know how Biggins it was, you know. But yeah, another member of the AIW student boneyard.
His dream was to be a dad. That's his big
true.
dream.
Him and Dave the Potato, man. Fucking like what a cast of characters. We haven't even gotten into the fucking Oklahoma
The
crew.
glitch.
Oh man.
Keely. Okay, quick thing about Keely. I remember like her first day, like she sat out a couple not like weeks or anything, but the first couple of days.
Isn't it weird how girlfriends do that?
And motherfucker worldwide. It's so
I don't even go to training. I know this shit.
God damn it. So anyway, Keely, we're teaching her it was up and overs. And so she can't really do the up and overs because she doesn't have any upper body strength. So we told her, okay, Johnny's like, just start doing the rolls then, okay? She can't do a front roll. So she's doing a front roll, and like when she can't come up, like her one leg always like gives out on her. So finally Candace just says, well, how about you try doing it, this way? Candace was showing her like another way or whatever, and she goes, well, I can't do that because I broke my femur 6 weeks ago. I was in a really bad car accident. And Candace is like, you broke your femur? What? Like it's broken? She's like, yeah, it's still broken. And Johnny was just like, why are you in the ring? Like, get out of the ring. You have a broken femur. Don't do this. Like, let it heal. And she was like, oh, no, I'm fine. And Johnny was like, no, you have a broken femur. Get out of the ring.
And those weren't the only secrets that Oklahoma brought with them. Because the glitch came into the school, behaving as if, he was just starting to train.
Oh, this is
he had
true.
like 5 years. Like, he was working for like 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years,
something.
Oklahoma Indies. But he was like trying to fave it he had never trained before. But then he was like just starting to get real big leaguey and weird. And then it finally came out.
The truth.
How did you feel about that?
I didn't really give a shit one way or the other at that point, to be perfectly honest. He did ring crew. He was a fucking idiot, but, good guy.
You know what? I know this is getting deleted, but like, fucking, one of my favorite stories, or just seeing him fucking carry one piece of plywood on his.
Oh, dude, he would
back.
Kaplan it. Like, he wouldn't even Kaplan it. Like,
Yeah,
he would like.
dude, like he needed some fucking help, man. Like,
He wasn't taking any help, man.
Yeah, dude, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen anyone do. Ring
Like
crew.
Ben Stiller, and there's something about Mary. Like he had like the piano on his back. There's fucking Glitch, just that whole thing on taking one little step at a time, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And you knew he was going down any minute.
He slowed down a piece of fucking plywood.
One of the boards,
man.
dude. He'd had the board like full
He did
like.
not have like a big wingspan either.
No.
If we're being real.
Oh, it was insane. I loved it. It was great entertainment.
It's that Oklahoma Indie ring crew muscle.
Well, essentially, the end of the glitch, if I'm not mistaken, Thorne, would be that the
He
Oklahoma...
had one match in the AIW.
Well,
and that was it.
okay. Well, we got to get to
That was the big fucking. That was the big goal.
He's also part of the worst
but we got to get to
triple threat
what
of all
leads to
time.
that, to how that we get to that. Because if I remember correctly, both had jobs at Sam's Club when they moved here. They got transfers,
Yeah.
and then out of nowhere, they got the bright idea to start trying to sell wind energy door to door.
Which I told them was a horrible idea because it's on a fucking quota, and if you don't hit that quota, not only do you not get paid, you're fucking fired. And they're like, no, it's not like that. I'm like, I can tell you that it is.
And
And those poor people from Oklahoma, they moved to like
Downtown
straight
Cleveland.
fucking like
The hood, man.
hood, like bad,
Not the best part of town.
bad area.
so they kind of finally find out that they got, and little do they know that they can't take their jobs back at Sam's Club because they quit for 6 months. So then that led to, I remember, a very uncomfortable conversation where I believe it was you and Biggins talked to him outside, and we then quickly found out that he would be leaving after Fresh Meat.
Yeah, like the day after.
Like that night, I think they got in a car and went back to Oklahoma.
because they were going to be homeless.
Yeah, so that's the Oklahoma crew, Steve.
What's up, everybody? Alex Worldwide Keller here, and it's fall, it's October. You're listening to your Typo Negative, your Misfits, you're watching your horror movies, you're thinking about vampires, and when I think of vampires, I can only go to one place in my head, and that's The Brood. And there's a doozy of a shirt here. It's The Brood, illustrated, Attitude Era as F. It's got Edge, it's got Christian, it's got Gangrel. Looks like something out of the original Crow comic, and on the back, it's what happens if Dr. Dan ever crosses me again. A bloodbath! Now, you can find this at Thrift Store Jobber on Instagram, Etsy, eBay. Find them out and use promo code WORLDWIDE to get 10% off your order.
One thing that we didn't get to is this is gone totally off the rails. Is the last time we did this, we never got to like the modern fucking training system and Mr. Joshua Bishop who is here and his his intro into the AIW Academy and his backstory.
All right, so
You're going hour.
I tried to join the academy when I was 16. I was denied.
Of course. Is that when you quit football and everything else?
Yeah, so it was started in the summer, and I was like, oh, sweet, AIW's opening an academy. I'm not going to play football this year. I'm just going to quit. So on the last day of school, the football coach calls me in his office, and he's like, are you playing? I'm like, no, I'm going to be a professional wrestler. So I quit. And then I go home and I look at my emails, and I was denied by Chandler Biggins. And so I just waited 2 more years until I graduated from high school. And then I started at Cal's.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you guys have come in. All of the stories people have heard thus far were in kind of like really shitty conditions in terms of training facilities. You roll in to Cal Crowell's Fitness Center.
Showers, big
Nice.
fans on the wall,
Nice gym if you want to join in.
fully functional ceiling that stopped water from getting
Yeah,
in.
fuck you guys. Like we get a garage with holes in the fucking
it's like a-
ceiling.
Is that why all you guys are
Performance
getting
center.
injured so quick? Because you guys have to go through the elements?
Yeah, we gotta
every
take you
day?
back to the garage,
Oh,
man.
I think you're on. I think you're onto something. All these guys that came into the nice, fucking good conditions, they're a little soft.
Because we must have brought them up soft.
Who did you
Bishop.
roll in with?
Well, I can't hear you. Speaking on the
We're
microphone.
not soft, man.
Wow, that's it.
Dude, we're not soft.
Josh, who did you roll in with? Like Trey was.
It was just me.
Trey was already there, right?
So
I mean, like Josh's class is kind of like scatterbrained. Like,
Yeah.
it was kind of like
Trey joined at the
started
garage.
First. Trey had like the last couple weeks at the garage, and then it would have been Josh, Anthony, Twan, and Pickle Parker. Twan and Parker Pierce were both about the
Parker was
week
there,
before
yeah.
Johnny left.
Twan and I started at the same, like basically the same time because we did our first day drill the same day.
How was that?
Well, I lucked out, so I didn't have to do it for like 3 weeks because Johnny wanted to be there for because there's like 3.
Well, there was that, and there was also maybe that day where there was a certain student that came from a different academy that we ran through a little bit of a ringer, and then that took up so much time that there wasn't really time to put you through.
Yeah, like I just kind of kept lucking out on it.
I'm not doing the drill.
Yeah. And so, but then when I did it, it was still pretty difficult, but I felt like I did better than most from the stories I've heard.
No, like you're somebody who came in. Did you puke?
No.
You did stay face
There
down
you
in the
go.
ring for about 10 minutes, though, post.
Yeah, I mean, I was still pretty gassed out, but I didn't puke.
I was standing at the end of mine, man.
You're somebody who came in too, but like Dom and Weird Body and some of these other guys, and even worldwide, pretty much everybody in this room had like an extensive knowledge of wrestling. So, but I feel like unlike them, you didn't really come in with preconceived notions or ideas of like a character or anything, right?
No, not really. I was just kind of like hoping I wouldn't get beat up in wrestling training. Because you read all the stories, so I was really scared. Like I was gonna come to school on my first day, and Johnny Gargano was gonna beat me up.
He did his fucking research. I don't know how he thought Johnny Gargano was going to beat him up, but he did his fucking research.
His research is funny to me. It's so different because while everybody else has like this dream of going on to bigger and just massive things and wrestling in huge stadiums, Josh, your dream match is Josh Prohibition.
Well, Steve, that's not necessarily true. What was your true wrestling dream that you told me when you first came to the academy?
Oh, I want to get New Japan wrestling.
Oh, that's true. New Japan.
But number 2, Josh Prohibition.
Oh yeah.
Such a fucking young, fucking dumb response. I want to go to New Japan. Get the fuck out of here.
But so I mean, you're also part of this group, and then we're slowly or more quickly, I guess, rolling into where we are now. You're part of this group ending with Johnny being there all of the time, and then he rolls down to Florida. You know, him and Candace are a part of it to an extent.
Hold on, before you finish that statement, I just remembered the day that Johnny brought his NXT tag title back. And
Holy shit.
Big Twan Tucker was mesmerized.
Mesmerized, dude. He had to take like 10 different pictures at like 20 different fucking camera angles. Like he'd be holding it, and then Johnny be holding it, and then they had to take one of like the kid, like, you know, up here and then down here, then across the street, then at Denny's, and fucking in their car.
I don't know if I've ever seen a human being as sad as Big Twan Tucker the moment Johnny said, "You can't post indies on social media."
What? But then he just set him as his profile pictures for everything instead of posting them.
Yeah, he sent him his profile pictures with the
Loophole.
belt cropped out.
Loophole.
Big Twan is also somebody, when they put that Adam Cole would be appearing at J-Lit, who should he face? And Big Twan Tucker is the first comment, like 2 seconds after it's posted, me.
I wish that would have been a fucking dream match.
As well.
For who?
Big Twan Tucker.
For me.
Big Twan Tucker is also an individual that me, Biggins, and Thorne really feel will quite possibly show up to a Girls Night Out show when they resume with a full stretch limousine and a full suit with corsages for all the girls in the car, thinking that he's likely going on a date.
Hey, man.
I think you would love
Boys to Men playing in the background.
Dream big.
He's got a girl, though.
The best was his explanation for that comment he told me was that he didn't think any of us would see it.
Oh.
And I said, you know, Thorne and Biggins run the AIW Instagram, right? And he didn't know.
Okay, that kind of takes us into another. That takes us into another good Big Twan story. I'm almost certain for a time he did not know one John Thorne's name.
Oh, he had no idea.
Oh, no.
No idea what my fucking name was. Called me Chris. Called me Chris. Had no clue.
Mr. Chris, can I have a water?
Mr. Chris, do they ID at the after parties?
Maybe it was related to that guy from the email that Biggins read.
That might have been, but yeah, he definitely did not know my name for a while. He knows it now. I don't know if he just started paying closer attention or someone told him.
Did you friend him on Facebook?
I was his friend on Facebook.
Well,
exactly.
this is where we need a video podcast, but my face. By the way, Steve Guy, back to an earlier point.
Yeah.
Everyone has a girl.
All right. Okay, then. It's like,
Okay.
thank you for that. A girl.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Neither do I.
But
Big Twan.
Clear the decks.
But kind of swinging back to young Bishop over here with his Josh Prohibition dream match.
I thought your dream match was to be your dream was to be spiked by Jimmy Jacobs.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sweet, but that's probably never going to happen.
You ever want to tell the story about the time you met Jimmy Jacobs?
Absolutely not.
God.
All right, so
Fangirl over
transitioning
here.
on. We can talk about my 4th training session with Teddy Hart.
Oh, this is a good one. This is a very good one.
Wanted to
Actually, we
breed
need you
'em.
for this.
So it's like my 4th day of training. I was pretty nervous. I asked if I was allowed to do the seminar. Thorne said yes. And so I pulled up to the parking lot, and Teddy Hart was sitting in the car with his cat. And I just kind of looked at him and just walked into the training center. And I didn't really know anybody then. Like, I didn't really talk to anyone. And so we do this deal, like this seminar deal, and like he's yelling while I'm doing my rolls and my bumps.
What's he saying to you?
You're the greatest professional wrestler I've ever seen with only 4 days of training. So,
It's very specific.
that's what he yelled it multiple times.
This kid's amazing, John. This kid's amazing.
Then I learned how to do a Canadian Destroyer.
4th day.
As did everyone that day, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Kaplan did, too.
Kaplan did it.
A match got booked literally off of Kaplan doing Canadian Destroyer.
And then he tried to get me to take a Super Hurricane Rana, but I couldn't do it because I didn't know what to do yet. And I kind of just dropped Dan on his head. And that was the end of doing moves from the top.
What about
rope
when he
that
tried to
day.
adopt you?
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
okay. So that goes on later. So we go to TGI Fridays, I think.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then he takes me outside to give me a life talk. Basically about how everything I'm doing is great. I should tell Johnny Gargano how Teddy Hart thinks he's the most underrated wrestler he's ever seen next time I see him. Then he asked me what like my living situation is, if I'd be interested in moving with him to Texas, I think. Because remember when we were going to go to the strip club that night, he just gave me his passport and shook my hair up a little bit and said, they'll definitely let you in.
We never got to figure it out.
No. And then, so he's telling me I should move in with him. He'll take me with him to Mexico. All these things sounded very promising, I'll be honest.
For a young 18-year-old boy.
I was all in. I was absolutely all in. And then the next day, maybe we were at Subway, and you pulled me aside. And you're like, did Teddy Hart ask you to move in with him? And I was like, yeah. I was pretty pumped up. And you're like, don't do it, man.
Yeah, don't do it. It's a bad move, dude.
Yeah.
He kidnapped Flip Kendrick for months.
I was pretty sold on it. And then I talked to Flip about it that day. I think he was at that show, and he said absolutely not. Said absolutely do not do that.
Fuck, man. What a cast of characters this fucking school has produced. I don't even know where to fucking go from here.
I mean,
I would say just now you guys can kind of talk, and maybe that's as we wind things down. The dynamic has changed to an extent, certainly, because Johnny not here as much. Will pop in once in a while, or him and Candace especially. And now, Dom, you've kind of taken the reins to at least provide some structure to the classes based on how they would have gone. In a short time for you, I guess you can talk to that. And Josh, you've been experiencing both situations, so you could probably speak more on that too.
Yes. So the idea behind it was when we kind of finally knew that Johnny and Candace were gone. It was one of those things that like I always knew in the back of my head from the day I started, because pretty much the first month I was there was when Johnny started doing NXT TV work. Was that I knew at any time we could lose him. There was always a prevailing hope that maybe he'd become a cruiserweight on Raw and he wouldn't have to relocate, but we kind of always knew at some point they were going to say he got to move to Orlando. So at that point, I just kind of remember Biggins sending me a message and telling me to like kind of figure everything out, ask Johnny and Candace for advice, and kind of get the idea behind how I was going to do it. So I started taking notes on that. As well, I started finding as many seminars as I could. I tried to start to attend seminars. And then I just kind of took my background from, amateur wrestling coaching and the time I'd spent teaching jiu-jitsu and kind of tried to formulate lesson plans, game plans to the best that I could. I tried to chat up veterans who were training people. Like, I definitely sought out, like, DJ Z, because I know he's done training of people. And I just, found other vets that, hey, this isn't the best position for me to be in right now, but it's just kind of a spot I have to take. And because if I don't do it, we're going to just be doing flipping moves off the ropes all day, and there'll be no structure.
Yeah. Well, I think what's great, too, is you guys are benefiting, and Josh, probably you don't understand, maybe you're not as grateful as these guys are. You guys have more seminars from veterans than ever before, probably when you all first started, don't you think? Like, in terms of, think about with Arn Anderson, Malenko, the guys that you've been through now, Bob Holly, Malenko, Arn Anderson,
Zack Sabre
Glacier was
Jr.
just here, Zack Sabre Jr., and that's pretty much, Josh, that's like a lot of your experience at this point, where I think you guys went through a lot more of.
We had some seminars here and there. They had some in the first class, and we had some in the second class. But yeah, they're definitely coming a little bit more frequently, like now in the last year. But that Arn Anderson one changed my life.
I have to go with Teddy Hart as the one that changed my life.
It could have changed your life a lot fucking more.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish I would have taken him up.
Joshua Bishop, why don't you talk about how I gave you your goddamn name?
All right. No. So I needed a new last name. We were in a group message together with Weird Body, and you gave me like a long, 3-paragraph suggestion about the last name Bishop, and I went with it. And then you tried to.
What were some of the other names being thrown your way?
Oh, I have no idea.
We forgot. So, wait. This is the one time where
Josh Bodie.
Josh Bodie was one.
All right,
this felt goofy. It was like Sid Bodie. Like Sid Bodie would have to fucking adopt you, man.
Yeah, that was going to be fucking
The only
terrible.
person in this room that could have the Bodie last name is you, Weird Body.
That's for sure. But also, I pitched Josh Bosch.
And I think this is the one time.
Real nice.
The one time that we can unequivocally say that I had the good creative idea and Weird Body had the bad creative idea. Because Bishop beats the shit out of Josh Bosch.
If I would have heard this Josh Bosch thing, I would have went with that.
Absolutely.
Nobody ever brought this to my attention.
Yeah, dude.
That is a good name, dude.
Yeah, dude. Like, hey, man, I'm Josh Bosch. It flows.
I like that.
Yeah.
Bishop is smooth, brother. You got it.
Oliveri.
The fucking Oliveri
That's how I
fight.
feel. All these names. Twan Tucker is good, though.
Twan Tucker is great.
Mobile.
Trey Lamar, that's a pretty good name, I'd have to say.
Ooh. Yeah, that's another one. Well, there's a strong, solid chance that of all the new kids, Worldwide likely gave them their names, though he will take zero credit for Chase Oliver.
Fucking no, because I wanted him to be goddamn Chase Oliveri. Chase Oliver.
You want to shoot? You gotta fucking shoot right now. How about that? Chase Oliver sounds like a goddamn job boy down in fucking NXT. That's what Chase Oliver sounds like. Chase Oliveri tells you a story before he even fucking walks through the goddamn curtain. Oh, we got some kind of Italian. Bling, bling, boom. I can paint a picture in my head. Chase Oliver.
Brother,
we
he's
have
from
some
Cocoa
shitty white
Beach.
kid.
I don't know that he looks like a.
That's on the NXT loop. It
Italian
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets
I mean, he's-
injured. Come on.
No, he is rocking that black and yellow, so what the fuck? But I still say Oliveri over Oliver all day, but whatever.
Wow. I mean, certainly they're the most athletic class. Would you say? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I would say that, and I would say that somehow these guys have prospered off not having as much Johnny and Candace as us, but we are getting the wrap it up sign here from our producers. So
real quick, I'm just gonna put over a couple of fucking students, Tom, Fastball Eddie, and also the PME. You guys have been hanging out. All good, great new fucking additions to the goddamn Absolute Intense Wrestling
Brother
Academy.
Nate Ball too. Nate.
That's what I said. Fucking Fastball Eddie.
about Driz
Or,
Khalifa?
I call him Fastball Eddie. I don't know
yeah,
where it was going
how
on.
can you forget? How can
about
you,
Driz
you
Khalifa?
can't forget the ultimate brother,
The ultimate brother.
Trevor.
Oh yeah, of course, Trevor. Jesus H. Christ, Trevor.
No
Terribly
one knows
sorry.
about yet.
Wes
That will
Barkley.
soon be found. Good brother Patrick.
Patrick's my favorite wrestler I've ever seen in my life.
Pitbull Pete.
Pitbull Pete.
Patrick.
We got a whole fucking.
We got a whole
clan.
we got a whole new crop coming up soon.
How can we forget Sean?
I'd say brother Patrick, probably most likely to succeed. About 6'6",
and then I
320.
think
Guy does this best like Southern Paul
then
Heyman
there's
like when he's cutting
always old
promo.
Chad.
If I may be allowed
Chad.
a volley, sir.
Chad, you know Chad.
I know Chad.
Chad.
Yeah.
Looky here,
Came with us
Chad.
that night. He came that night to Sheets with us.
Oh, the guy that he paid 100% up front.
I wasn't gonna say that, but okay.
This Chad that looks like a cross between Chris LaRusso and Tim Donst.
Yeah. Holy shit.
110,000 fucking %.
Other than that, I'm pretty sure that's the academy.
So
right
everybody
now.
fucking. This is a lot of fucking cliffhanger. We're gonna end it on all these fucking potential up and comers coming your way.
But otherwise, Steve, take us home, buddy.
Look out for what's next from the AIW Academy. There you have it. For all of the guys here in the round table, I'll throw all the names out. Josh Bishop, Weird Body, Dom Greeny, Frankie Flynn, Worldwide, Brian Carson, of course, AIW owner John Thorne. My name's Steve Guy. We'll talk to you guys next week here on AIW's The Card is Going to Change.